Hello and welcome back to Elden Ring. This is part 15 of our dexterity run through the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Last time we made our way through Midra's Manse, the Dragon's Pit, and down to the Grand Altar of Dragon Communion, getting ourselves the torn diary page, the ability to craft Surging Frenzied Flame, Nanaya's Torch, Remembrance of the Lord of Frenzied Flame, a Bandit's Curved Sword as a random chance drop, an Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone, and the Dragon Hunter's Great Katana. And here, we can talk to this NPC.
Warrior true, do you feel the hunger? Then why not feast upon a dragon's essence, on the throbbing heart of the oldest, vilest dragon of them all?
She says oldest. I wonder if Bale is actually the oldest dragon. As in, like, the very first dragon. Or if she means oldest as in the oldest still alive. Or if she's exaggerating. I mean, Bale did fight Placidusax, to my knowledge. And Placidusax was the first Elden Lord, and kind of trapped in time. So, out of those three options, I'm leaning towards the oldest dragon still alive, rather than the first or exaggeration. They could be the oldest dragon to ever exist. Who knows? Who knows?
Yes, as it should be. Now, seek the jagged peak. There you will find Bale, the oldest and vilest of all dragons, Landbound warrior. Follow your desire and slay the foul beast. Devour its throbbing heart. I will grant you the strength required. In the name of my lord, Placidusax.
Your lord kinda died by my sword.
Warrior, in a time long past, Bale turned upon the Dragon Lord. The foul traitor assailed our master and inflicted a grievous wound, only to make a hasty retreat, becoming a sworn enemy of the brood. Since that day, Bale and his bloodline, the Drakes, have served as sacrifices for Dragon Communion. Landbound warrior, my lord Placidusax has shown your kind what must be done. Seek communion. Sate your boundless appetite. Feel the euphoria of a dragon's essence taking root in your meager frame.
You know, saying, like, calling my body a meager frame, normally I might try to protest that, but seeing how this run has been going, you're probably right.
In a time long past, the far becoming a
Yep. Alright, so that's where I got that information from. That's good to know. Now, if you're ever confused on how to find Charos' hidden grave, like from the dragon, because I remember having a bit of difficulty with it, it's that easy. And I don't know how that got me lost. like 2 or 3 times, but yeah. Just either this section or the dragon's tail, like the top half of it. Both of those work. Do gem. Not useful. That looks nice. Polterstone. I don't know what a polterstone is. I use FP to increase all damage negation. Oh, that sounds nice. One problem with that, and Balding's Blessing, is that it's a number, like it's a consumable, so you can only hold one. Or using it makes you lose it. And I would much rather it be either a spell or a tool like one of these. Which, I mean, I guess technically it is a tool, but I'd much rather it be a reusable one. Even if it took significantly more FP. Like, I would take this having an FP cost of 50 if it meant it being reusable. I don't remember what we get from you. I know that you spawn a thing. Yep. Don't remember what they're called. Revenants, that's what they're called. Don't know why it took me that long to remember the name Revenant. Oh, hello. I'm just gonna hit and run. Yeah, I don't want to deal with a Revenant. I don't have any heal things. Heal spells. No heal spells means no fighting the Revenant. And look at that, it died. Tibia's cookbook. I guess called Tibia. I'm gonna use this just to see what it's like. Just so that way we can understand what this is and how good it is. So, better than the spell in terms of effectiveness, but still not that good. From what it looked like, at least. Alright. Here, a bunch of great birds. There's a death bird over there. Not gonna fight him. Because not worth it. That's something we can mention it after fighting this guy. Oh, wow. That's a grab attack, and it really goes far. Alright, that's on me. Jeez. I don't know what's up with Elden Ring right now. But for some reason, dodging just doesn't dodge. Like, I can press the dodge button and my character will just go, nah. I'm just gonna stand here. I'm just gonna tank it. And I don't know why. $11K. Skidoo tree fragment, but it's not even like my controller is broken, because, listen. So it's not my controller. This is a relatively new controller. And every time I press the dodge button, my character dodges, except for when I'm in combat. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me. But here, these two areas, you can actually, I believe, drop off from here to here, from Charos Hidden Grave into the Cerulean Coast, which is neat. But these areas are very aesthetic. They have a very unique visual going for them, being a flower that is a certain color that permeates the entire area. For Charos Hidden Grave, it's red. For the Cerulean Coast, it is blue. And they're both very pretty areas. And it's neat to see a very red area and a very blue area right next to each other on the map. Very pretty. The problem I have is that it feels like that was the entire extent of the idea. Was just to have a pretty area. This is where it is on the map, by the way. But the reason I say that is because if you look at what's actually in the areas, for Charos Hidden Grave, it's like, alright, there's one death bird, which feels like it's there more so to allow co-op than just like a thing they added because they thought it should be there. And then there was, and like, it's not even really that worth fighting. And when you try to fight it, a bunch of the gray birds come after you. So it's not that fun. It's a boss that was repeated more than most in the base game. The reward isn't that good. It's just not really a good time, in my opinion. So there's a thing there, but not really worth doing. I believe over here is where the golden hippo is. My game being weird right now aside, golden hippos are fun. I do enjoy them quite a bit. And it gives you a skidoo tree fragment, so that's good. That's one thing for the area. And then there's a furnace golem. Don't remember what this one drops, but this is one of the ones where you just get above it and then throw some furnace pots into it, which isn't really that exciting. It kind of reminds me of what people say about Demon Souls bosses, where it's not really a boss, it's like a puzzle. And it can be difficult, and it can kill you a few times, until you figure out the puzzle, and once you'd figure out, like, the puzzle, gimmick, whatever you want to call it, once you figure out the thing, like, the solution, then it doesn't require good reaction time, it doesn't require good timing. You just input the solution to the puzzle and then you win. And that can make it feel underwhelming. So not a fun fight. I don't remember what rewards it gives. So it might have good rewards. But, like, is this Golden Hippo? Maybe the rewards from that. And then Lamenters Gaol. And that's everything in this area. And then you look at Cerulean Coast, and it's like, alright, what does the Cerulean Coast have? Well, it has a Ghost Flame Dragon. Right around here, I believe. But just like the Deathbird, it feels like it's there more so to be like, alright, here's a boss, so that way you can summon, more than being a thing that should actually be there. And so it's also a boss that's repeated. And it's just an alternate, in my opinion, not as good version of a base game boss that was repeated. So, not a big fan of that. And then there's a Mausoleum boss over here, which is basically just an NPC fight. And going around here, there's a Skidoo Tree fragment, that's good, and a demi-human boss, which, that's okay. Nothing too special, just something that's okay. And then there's access to the Finger Ruins of Rhea and the Stone Coffin Fisher. And so it feels like both of these areas, they're very pretty, but that's like just about everything they have going for them. Because when it comes to actual reasons to visit them, both of them have one Skidoo Tree fragment and then access to a different area. And that's like all they have. Whereas if you take the Gravesite Plain, for example, you have the Church of Consolation, which has, I believe, a great hammer and some Skidoo Tree fragments. You have the Scorched Ruins, which have the hefty cracked pots, one or two. You also have Blade of Mercy there. You also have some cookbooks. You also have NPCs both here and here with Skidoo Tree fragments. There's also a Revered Spirit Ash, I believe, here. There's also a painting thing here. There's also a backhand blade here. There's also Prospect Town, which has some goodies. There's also Church of Benediction, which has a good armor set and talisman. There's also the Artist Shack, which has a second painting. And it's before even crossing the bridge. That's before even crossing the bridge. And without talking about any of the connections. There's also a Great Katana here. It connects to Bellerot Jail. There are more upgrade materials here. It connects to the Fog Rift Catacombs. It connects to Castellensis. There's some goodies down here. It connects to the Ruined Forge. It connects to Elec River. There's another thing here for upgrades and another NPC. And then it just keeps going. And there's Dragon's Pit as well. It connects to that. And so There's also a mausoleum here. Like, it can just keep going. And that's just Gravesite Plain. Gravesite Plain by itself has, like, more than triple what these two areas have combined. And it's really disappointing because, again, they're pretty areas. They just don't have a lot of reasons to go visit them. But with that being said, the main reason... Wrong way. The main reason for this part... I thought there was going to be a title pop-up, but apparently not. Yeah, this one is fun, because... Oh no, it's locked. So I have to go this way. I wonder if we can one-shot. One-handed. Because... two-handed, it does more damage overall, but each individual swing does less. So I wonder if we one-hand, would we one-shot? The answer is no. Tragic. Jail upper level key. So yeah, now you can go and unlock that door. Or you can push ahead. Just see what else is here. Ooh, we hit both with that. You'll love to see it. Sir, please stop. Think. Just think. I have two blades. You just have your fists and flesh. Do you truly think you could best me in a fight? Please, I can't stand that. Alright, so he's probably talking about the prattling pate. Because it does sound different. All the other prattling pates are just like, hello. Whereas lamentation is like a scream. And it's, I believe, the only prattling pate in the DLC. Which makes it even funnier that it's just a scream. You good, mate? Oh. It's a nice two-shot. With the first swing stunning. Chilling perfume bottles. I know there's a few ways to go. Can't immediately get back up if you choose that path, though. No. Instead of this... No. We shall hold off. HP which is like an addiction. That was so rude. I'm gonna do it. As I've said before, something Elden Ring does I was just about to say, I don't remember this part of the cave. But now that it fell, I do remember it. I just remember the hole being there. Moving on. Something that Elden Ring does a lot is it focuses on chip damage. And just having constant small pieces of damage to wear your health bar down. And that is certainly a decision that is made. I'm personally not a super big fan of it, but I can understand why they do it. I can understand the appeal. And it's not something I have a big issue with. It's more of a personal preference thing than anything. But I don't mind it. But a great way to counter that is to go with HP regens. Like Assassin's Crimson Dagger, Taker's Cameo, Blessed Dew Talisman. I don't have it on me, but the Icon Shield, the Blasphemous Blade, Serpent God Curved Sword. Oh. Oh, poor guy. Got the flying. Yeah, HP regen builds. Very good. And that's like my main build. And I used to call it the Vagabond build until Elden Ring came out with the Vagabond starting class. And I went, well, if I just say Vagabond build, and people are going to think that. And so I've started calling it the Holy Wanderer. Sometimes the Holy Vagabond. Because it's got the Icon Shield, which has some faith-based associations, and the Blasphemous Blade, which, well, most people probably wouldn't consider that to be holy. It does have faith scaling, and requires you to put levels into faith. So, that's why. Also, Lamenting Visage. You hold it the way, like, it looks similar to the Skull Lantern in Dark Souls 1. And you hold it the same way you hold the Skull Lantern in Dark Souls 1. So this thing is just a callback to Dark Souls 1. Which makes me very happy that Elden Ring, like, playing Elden Ring convinced me to play Dark Souls 1. Because I had never played Dark Souls 1 before Elden Ring. I forgot about you! You gross flesh monstrosity. Even Mr. Flesh Mustache wasn't that icky. On the top rope. Ow. Yeah, so very glad about that. Excuse me. And I believe that leads down to the boss. So what we can do is we can throw a rainbow stone down. That's kind of hard to see. What we can do is we can throw down a more visible rainbow stone. And we can come back to that. I heard you glooping your way out of there. Alright, yeah, I know what that is. I know what that is. So, it connects to this. So you're supposed to drop down here and then make your way up to that. So that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, this game really likes to do chip damage. Just slowly whittle down your health bar. Force you to use flasks to get through the area. You might think, oh no, force you to use flasks to get through the area. That's almost how the game works. Which, like, yeah, by itself sounds stupid. But the idea, at least the way I think the idea is supposed to work, is that you only really need to heal when you make a mistake. When you either miss a parry or mistime a dodge. Something like that. Where it's your fault that you took damage. But Elden Ring doesn't always work like that. Sometimes it just smacks you with damage just to smack you with damage. Like the enemies bursting out and screaming. And I'm sure that there's probably some way to avoid the damage. But there's some damage in this game that just isn't reasonable to avoid. And so the way I deal with that, instead of healing like a normal person, I go Taker's Cameo, Assassin's Crimson Dagger, Bless Dew, Icon Shield, Blasphemous Blade, Serpent God Curved Sword, and I go, if the game wants to take health, I'll just take health back. Simple as that. And it works. It works super, super well. And it makes it to where I don't have to try as much. And I can just be super casual and not be good at the game outside of bosses. And it makes it to where I have more flasks going into the boss. So stuff like that is appreciated. Lamenter. Me boy. Goodbye. First run. I popped a mimic here when this happened. Because I just saw a bunch of enemies and went, well, if you're not gonna do a 1v1, like, if you're gonna spawn help, then I'm gonna spawn help. Not realizing that they died in like 1 to 2 hits. So, still don't know what these faces are about. Oh, we found the real deal. That was quick. Good. Lamenter's Mask, 192,000 runes. So Lamenter's Mask is one of those things where you unequip all of your armor and then you become them, which is pretty neat. I think the area is cool. I think the rewards are pretty cool. Like chilling perfume bottle. Not super big on the perfume bottles, but I have a friend who is. And pure magic damage is pretty cool. Frost buildup is pretty cool. And so it can just be like a decent side weapon. And then there's the callback to Dark Souls 1. Swing the head while covering the eyes, unleashing a wail of lamentation, while temporarily masking the user of the skill harder to see. Huh. Anyways, callback to Dark Souls 1, kinda neat. The boss, not the best. The fight isn't that good. Like, I was able to, for the most part, stun lock them with this, which not only couldn't stun lock, couldn't even stun the basic enemies in Midra's Manse, the Inquisitors. So he really had no poise. Like, absolutely none at all. It was in the negatives. And so the fight is too easy in my eyes, to the point where it's kind of boring, but it's unique. The reward is kind of nice. I'm not a big fan of these, but I can understand why people would be a fan of these, like being able to turn your body into some kind of body horror. It adds a new spin to things. It makes things unique. It can give you some memorable visuals. So, even though there's 3 jails, this one sticks out with some good stuff. There's also Lamentation, so prattling pate, perfume bottle, unique callback torch, vastly raises focus. That would have been nice for Midra's Manse, actually. And one of these, So it's got a decent selection of things. So even if, like, the cave and the boss are a bit easy, I'd say the area's a bit easy, the boss is way too easy, but still enjoyable despite that. Despite the difficulty being a bit lower than I would like. Which, in a sense, can be a breath of fresh air, considering a lot of the bosses are a bit too hard, in my opinion. Not by a whole lot, but by a little bit. And we're 41 minutes in. I like to stay under an hour. So probably don't have enough time to do a full anything else. I probably don't have time to do another cave. Probably don't have time to do another area. We could maybe do a boss if we only do a boss. Like, we have Romina. But I don't want to tack Romina onto the end of random cave video. That would feel a bit disrespectful. Is this where the giant enemy comes in? Oh! Oh! Nope, 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 nope. All my brain said was giant enemy. And I remembered, well, in the finger runes at the top of the map, there's a colossal hand. I don't think they do an enemy that big again. And there were some small crabs, and I know there's crabs on the island. So giant enemy probably just means a big crab. Oh boy, was I wrong. Those lobster enemies are terrifying. We were able to successfully neutralize them, though. We bested them in honorable combat. We bravely, nobly faced down the evil foe and put them in the grave. That's my story. And I'm gonna keep lying to myself as we go into here. And just every single time we swing. Every time we swing, they dodge backwards. Like, good boss design. Every single time I attack, they dodge backwards. Such fun. Such fun. Yeah, no. That just... Great Spears. Running L1. It just keeps us running. So, that's what we're gonna do. Plop. I said it in the last run. I'm gonna say it again. Not a big fan of these bosses. Mostly because every single time you press the attack button, they just go. And so it's really easy to just watch them go. And it feels so strange. Because it just makes me think about Bloodborne and how Bloodborne came out on, at this point, a previous generation console and is stuck at 30 FPS but still has better AI, like better computer brain. The enemies are more complex, the enemies feel more real. I'm talking about the hunters, the human enemies, because that's the equivalent in that game. Because they're a bit more complicated than that. They don't just go whenever you attack. They actually have depth to them. That was rude. So I tried to roll, but I was out of stamina. Let's see. At least he rolls after being hit. Oh, sir. You've done made a mistake. Yeah, see, he's different. He's unique. When you try to attack, instead of just going wah, 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 he doesn't do that. That's the stupid coward move. This guy, he's smart, he's bold. He goes, I have a great sword, and I can outpoise you. I'm just going to swing this greatsword into your mouth. Like, do you really want to trade blows with a greatsword? $84K, great sword of solitude, and the armor of solitude. Yeah, so instead of, like, whenever you swing, instead of just doing the animation reader of, which is really boring. Like, it's very predictable, it's very boring. It makes the enemies feel like computers instead of, like, oh, this could possibly be a person. Because Bloodborne does a great job of that. This game, not so much. But this guy, Blackgaol Knight, I think his name is. I've just been calling him the Knight of Solitude, because that's what all of his equipment is. But yeah, he just goes, I have a great sword. If you try to swing on me, I'm just going to swing on you. Because I have a great sword, which is a very powerful weapon class. And a very hefty armor set. Like, look at this, 96 poise. And with 18 Skadutri blessings, 74% physical damage negation. So he knows that he has the defense and the poise to just tank your swing. And he knows that he has the damage output to just swing back. And so he feels a lot more human than the other mausoleum bosses because of that one change. Even though he's fundamentally the same, where if you try to attack, he pretty much always does this one same exact input. The thing is, with the others, it's just elongate the fight. With him, it's, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you're willing to trade blows? And that makes him more of a threat, and that makes him feel more real. And I really appreciate that. By far the best of the 4 mausoleum fights. Now, when it comes to rewards, the Eastern Nameless Mausoleum with Rakshasa, I would say that Rakshasa actually has better rewards, because I do like their Great Katana. It looks very nice. And I do like their armor set. It looks very nice. I don't like that it does the increases damage dealt and taken. Not a fan of that. Kind of wish that you could alter the armor at Bach just to get rid of that. Like, just to get rid of that little middle paragraph. You gain the damage increase, but you gain... or you lose the damage increase, but you lose the damage taken or increase. If you could modify it or alter it at Bach, just to get rid of that, like the entire set, I would absolutely do that, and I would love that very much. But still, Eastern one with Rakshasa, best rewards. But the Great Sword of Solitude, close second, and the fight is better, in my opinion, so. Eastern and Western Nameless Mausoleums. Western, right here at the very beginning. Eastern is in the southeastern part of the Reclusus' River. I'd say those are the 2 Nameless Mausoleums worth visiting. And then the northern one here, by Temple Town, that's kind of a worthy third. And then the southern one with the dancer Ranah is the 4th and least worth it, in my eyes. It's not terrible, the fight just isn't fun, and the reward just isn't that good. The other 3 I'd say are worth visiting though, especially the Eastern and Western ones. But with that being said, I think we can end it here. We went through Charos' Hidden Grave and Lamenters Gaol. We also got the Southern and Western Nameless Mausoleums. And we got ourselves the Ancient Dragon's Blessing, the ability to craft Polter Stones, the ability to craft Call of Tibia, We got the prattling paid lamentation. We got the chilling perfume bottle. We got a hefty cracked pot. We got the lamenting visage torch. We got the clarifying horn charm +2. We got the Lamenter's mask. We got the perfumed oil of Ranah. The dancing blade of Ranah, along with the dancer's set. And we finally capped it off with the great sword of solitude and the armor set of solitude. With that being said, yeah,